we've got the second round unfolding, resuming with the second heat of the morning. Heat 6 of round 2, Nat Young up against Alejo Muniz. Alejo, great track record in this contest. Nat Young, we know he's one of the most powerful goofy footers, and taking up their place in round 3 already. Here we go, Nat Young getting started. Pacing himself at this point. Now he's going to really start to put some pressure on that back foot. Nice vertical approach on that last turn as he looks to finish with some big moves on the inside. Hasn't really had any fireworks just yet on this ride, and unfortunately for Nat, he caught up to a smaller swell in front. The wave didn't really double up the way he would have liked. Rough start to the year for Alejo as we look at the replay of his last ride. Missed 2 events due to injury, Ross, but looks like he's surfing well here at Jeffries.
Yeah, again, this is a venue that he obviously loves with all those great results, but it's kind of interesting. He was almost stalling and fading back on that wave when he needed to step on the gas. That was a good wave for Alejo way down the line. He was just too far up the point. And this also way up the point. And as a result, you'll see this wave sort of split in half. You can see that rib that's right in front of Nat, kind of sucking the energy out of the wave.
And Nat is up at the moment, making that move down to the inside. And a couple of nice floats to finish this wave off. Such a strong backhand, but surprising to look back at Nat's history with this contest. Hasn't been past round 5 before. Just stalking this inside section of super tubes. And he's picked off another one here. And he goes a little harder on that first turn option. Staying up on the face of this wave to generate that speed, and he drops a huge turn to finish, swings the tail above the lip, but can't ride out. It does bottom out pretty quickly there. There's a lot of bump to deal with, Ross. We see a lot of people go down at the end of these rides.
You know, like I don't really do good results in cold countries, you know, in cold water. So I feel like it's hard for me to get used to it. My body don't used to like wear wetsuit, like thick wetsuits, and my feet get numb like pretty quickly. So I need to like come here and more often maybe like and just get used to it. But you know, at the end of the day, you know, JB is the best place, and I was kind of scared out there because I saw like, a lot of dolphins, you know, swimming towards us, but they were getting so close, and you know what, it's just beautiful. It's nature. It's amazing.
Well, we've got plenty of time for these 2 competitors in the water at the moment. Just on 18 minutes to go, and Nat Young had this wave during the interview.
Set up snap there. Nice high line there from Nat. Waiting for this wave to lean back just a little bit so he can open up. There it is. That's more of a traditional snap from Nat. See, kind of a narrow stance, heavy on that back foot, which allows him to have so much power. So just an okay wave for Nat. What did he get there at 5.83? I think it kind of broke in half. It was like this zebra base bottom with a plexiglass front, and I still have half of it somewhere.
Sounds like you really treasure that thing.
I do.
Well, here we go. This is Alejo now. He is looking for a big number at 9.26. He'd be happy just to get a solid score on the board, and with surfing like that, he's on his way. Working this one over. A very front-footed surfer, as you can see. Still banging away down the line. That wave was rifling across that reef, though, and he never really got that opportunity to completely. Well, let's break down this ride now.
So Alejo, as you mentioned, pretty front-footed, one of the wider stance on tour, which makes him very powerful right there. You can see that power of the spray as a result. And a large wingspan too, which is pretty interesting for Alejo. You know, a unique style, but effective. You know, again, good center of gravity. So, you know, 3 solid maneuvers. And, you know, as a result, Ronnie, look at that score. Pretty big for Alejo.
Really solid, 7.67. We're looking at the water angle now, but keep in mind that previous shot that we showed you is taken from a little further down the point. So sometimes those turns that have that horizontal approach look a little bit more critical from the judge's perspective.
Yeah, that's you know, twice now we've said that. So it would be cool to see it from the straight-on view. I think it'll be able to really appreciate how critical those turns were, and here we go. So you can see the height of the wave, exactly how critical those turns were placed, you know, right in the meat of the wave. This last turn by far the best. Look how steep the section is, and he pins it right in the pocket. And another right there closing move. So, you know, I like how he synced those maneuvers together. There wasn't any real gaps there.
But it feels like a big number could drop if someone can go a little harder than that. Maybe Alejo's going to push the pin a little higher here. Has a nice wall. This wave reeling really well down the line. And he climbs up on top of it. So looking for a solid backup here, and just like that, Alejo is going to get himself the lead. Only needed a 2.66 to get out in front as we just catch Nat Young pulling off the back of the ride behind.
So this is what we missed. Looking over his shoulder there and making sure that he was catching the right wave. He didn't want to see something bigger out the back. A couple of setup snaps there for Nat. So he knows, you know, he's constantly kind of monitoring himself. He knows where the kind of ticker rate is for a score, and not much going on there for Nat, so he wisely kicked out. And a pretty solid backup score here is what it's smelling like for Alejo Muniz. This is the first wave of the set. Similar kind of tempo, and here we go, Nat Young.
Let's see how Nat responds here. He's going to be in second place in a moment. He's had a number of rides, but no big numbers just yet. This is a better wave. Bashing the end of that ride, and well, he might have just jumped off his board there because the wave was, or the water was getting so shallow on the inside.
So Nat Young again, so powerful. Really stomps on that back foot and throws some big sprays. We talk about wiggly Dantes a lot when we talk about spray. Nat Young's kind of right there in that same conversation. Very explosive. Bang, right there. Nice vertical snap to finish it off. And you're right, Ronnie, you called it. Looked like that was on purpose. He jumped off to make sure he didn't bust a fin out on the rocks. Last thing you want to do is travel for a couple days and turn around and go back home. Judges reviewing the last wave, and Nat Young should be his best score, and it has dropped 6.5 for Nat. And he got his best maneuvers done so far in this heat. Right at the end there, nice snap. Not sure if the judges liked that he jumped off very quick right there. They might have deemed that incomplete. And that's what kept that score a little more on the lower side than we anticipated. I thought maybe it'd bust into the 7-point range.
And Nat is eyeing this one off. He's got a swing. 10 seconds remaining. Well, this will be one of the most clutch performances if Nat Young can chase down a 7.77 or better and keep his run alive here at Jeffries. The hooter sounds. The heat is over. Alejo didn't get a ride behind him. So Nat has to light this thing up. He's chasing the highest number of this heat. Climbs up on the roof. A tidy float. And he's going to get more down the line here. Building speed, looking for a big finish. Needs to finish this move. And a tricky float. He does well. He needs some real payoff for a series of floaters here.
Well, here's the thing. It's going to be somewhat easy for the judges because they have the perfect number to look at. Alejo Muniz's top score, 7.67. So they have to deem it being just a little better than Alejo's. No doubt they'll watch that wave back.
Well, Alejo's probably got him on variation. But where can Nat make up the points?
You know, he had a large section through the middle part of this wave where he had to just keep his speed up. It didn't allow him to, you know, continue to rip through turns. I think that might be the culprit, you know, if he doesn't get the score. Right here, you know, he's waiting again, just kind of waiting, biding his time for that wave to settle down, and he finishes with a floater. Whereas Alejo, he had, you know, kind of hacking carbs, throwing spray. So my gut instinct is that he will not get the score, but we'll have to see what the judges do with it.
Certainly clutch, but again, Nat just failing to connect with sections that were steep enough for him to really dig in and throw those big backhand snaps that he's famous for.
Yeah, exactly. If he had a slower wave that had that rhythm where he could just start teeing off and stomp those trademark Nat Nat hooks, then it would have been a no-brainer. This is a complicated way for the judges to kind of find that 7.7.
Well, the score has dropped. It's not enough. A 6.43 for Nat Young. He's out of the contest here in the second round, despite a brave charge on that last ride. Alejo Muniz keeps his good history with this event alive. He's moving through to round 3. When we come back from the break, a former winner here at Jeffreys Bay, Joel Parkinson, takes on Matt Banting. Joe Tappel and Pete Mel will call the action.